Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Simply Michelle, with yours truly, Simply Michelle here. Thank you so much for stopping by. If this is your first time, I hope that you would decide to become a part of the growing tribe here and subscribe to my channel. And if you are returning, thank you so much for the love and support. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Okay, especially if you keep coming back, you might as well subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. All right, y'all, without further ado, let's jump right into this. So, during the week of Thanksgiving, Ray J and um, I guess you could say his estranged wife, Princess Love, got into an altercation. All right, y'all, let's just hop right into this. So, TMZ had reported um, that, so it says law enforcement sources tell TMZ Ray J has been arrested and is currently in custody at a Los Angeles area jail. So, Ray J is no longer in custody. This did happen the week of Thanksgiving, and I'm reporting on this a few days later. So he's no longer held in custody, but during the incident at that time, he was arrested. Um, Now I'm gonna hop right into the comments on this and then get to the video. So someone says she was really supposed to leave when he pushed her in that pool. Baby, he never cared. And then someone else says jail on Thanksgiving is crazy. And someone else says, dog, you crashing out in front of your daughter would never sit right with me. Looked like the poor girl was being traumatized. He needs to do better, if not for himself, but for his child. And somebody created a tired of Ray J button. All right, let's take a look at this video here that is posted by Ray J. So Ray J, this came from the Shade Room, y'all. So it says Ray J and Princess Love got into a screaming match on live stream in front of their kids. In the clip, Princess accused Ray of pulling a weapon on her. All right, y'all, let's take a look at this.
Y'all want to drive drunk? Drive drunk. Drive drunk, princess.
Right, you just
drive drunk.
You just pointed a gun.
Drive drunk.
You just pointed a gun.
Drive drunk, princess. Go ahead. You want to take my kids? You and your drunk cousin? Cause y'all drunk alcoholics. Take my kids then. Go ahead. Who's gonna drive? Tony, he's been drinking
I'm not
too.
driving.
Who's been driving? Everybody. I didn't point nothing at y'all.
You pointed a gun at us.
I didn't point nothing at y'all.
You pointed a gun at us.
Yeah, whatever.
You pointed a gun at us.
Why you waking my daughter up?
You pointed a gun at us.
Why did you just wake my daughter up? Why did you just wake my daughter up?
All I wanted to do was have a good Thanksgiving.
Why did you wake my daughter up?
Ray.
Delusional. You're drunk.
You're a woman abuser.
You're
drunk.
You're
delusional.
I'm a woman. That's
yes,
what drunk people say. Like you're taking my daughter?
Grow the up.
All right,
seriously.
cool.
You need to.
Right. I'm taking my son.
Ray.
Like I know you take my son. Hey,
don't touch him.
Hold on, bro. I swear to God, I'll shoot the you.
Shoot you right now.
Take my kids because y'all drunk. Y'all want to drive drunk? Y'all want to drive drunk? Drive drunk.
All right. Okay. So as you can see in that clip, Princess and Ray J, they were going back and forth. Princess was holding their daughter, and the daughter just kind of, she had her face, buried in her mom. She wasn't showing her face, but okay, that is yeah, crazy. Okay, someone says, well, I believe her. He literally ends the video saying that he will pow the F out of them. Prayers to her and them kids. Shaking my head. Someone else says he loaded the gun on live. Oops. I meant to say he loaded the pow pow on live. TMZ showed it all. She did right to get her kids out of there. Someone else says should have never took him back after he dumped you in the pool. Happy Thanksgiving. Oh boy. All right, let me go to the next video here. This is Ray J basically trying to defend himself in the situation. So, the shade room here, it says Ray J speaks out following arrest regarding incident with Princess Love. Ray makes it clear that he doesn't play about his children and was upset that a man was in his home when she woke up their daughter, Melody. This is what does it for me. This is when you know you're dealing with a manipulator. In the very first video, he literally referred to the so-called man that was in his home as her cousin. And it was made clear that that was her cousin who came over as well on the day of Thanksgiving with her and the kids. The cousin's wife was also present too. Um, this I'm telling you, oh my goodness, let me save my commentary. This is something that I'm gonna try to do now. Instead of like talking in between each video, what I'm gonna try to do now is just save my commentary like until the end. But sometimes you can't help but jump in there. But someone says having a baby daddy like Ray J or Offset is so draining. And then someone else says the dude was her cousin. Stop acting like he was a stranger. And then someone else says, as a criminal lawyer, I highly advise he shuts up right about now. Don't ever talk about an open case online. He literally just admitted to assault. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, let me play this video.
And I'm gonna say this because I'm not gonna let the story go to where it don't supposed to go. You in my house, we having an argument. All right, we grown ups. If you want to leave, leave. The kids is upstairs sleep in my bed. You want to go upstairs and take the kids, wake them up into this grown up argument which shouldn't have happened. Instead of letting them sleep, you want to snatch her and take her with you. Then you got a dude coming in my bedroom where my kids is asleep and they're trying to get in my bed and take my kids because all of y'all are drunk. Y'all can't drive with these kids drunk. I'm not letting that happen. This dude is coming in my room, getting in my bed to take my kid. I'm going to defend my kids and I'm gonna defend my space. And now when they call the police, no problem. I'm sure the police gonna come and understand what I'm going through. Listen, I'm gonna say this.
Okay. So let me play the next one.
I'm in my bedroom. They're in there snatching my kids out of the bed while they're asleep and they're waking up yelling and screaming and crying. A dude is getting my kid out of the bed, bro. I'm going for mine. For my kids, I'm going to double down on that. Y'all can't do that. But you know what? It is what it is. I love my kids. I'm not playing about my kids, and that's it. That's it. I'm in my house. Y'all in my bedroom. Taking my kids out of the bed at 4 a.m. with a man, with you, in my bedroom. I don't know what else I would have done. I showed self-control. I didn't touch Princess. I didn't touch nobody. And then I go to jail. I'm in my...
What ends up happening is that Princess comes on and makes a video. So once again, the shade room, it says Princess Love shares her side of things following incident with Ray J. It says Princess Love says her cousin and her cousin's husband were with her when she picked up the kids, and that she doesn't know why she keeps thinking she can co-parent with Ray J following the incident. Let's take a look at this video.
And like staying off of social media and just like protecting my peace. But what I'm not about to do is let him deflect and make it about me. and make it seem like I was drunk or it was all my fault. That is not the case. I went to his house. First of all, I just moved into my new house, but I went to his house with the kids because I wanted the kids to have a good Thanksgiving with their dad. He's been gone for a month, hasn't seen them, hasn't called them, and he wanted to spend Thanksgiving with his kids. So I said, me and my cousin and my cousin's husband went over there. I've been like staying off of social media and just there with my kids and her 3 kids, and we were prepping to cook the food for Thanksgiving. And I told him before I went over there, don't start nothing or I will take the food and I will continue cooking at my house. I honestly don't know why I keep thinking we can just co-parent and be cordial with each other with my kids and her 3 kids, and we were prepping.
So that was Princess Love. She basically was stating what actually happened versus, what Ray J said happened. And I'm not being biased here because I believe Princess. I'm sorry, I do. I know people personally that have been through this. Um, and you cannot, when you are in toxic relationships and when you are dealing with people who have a tendency to be narcissistic, um, abusive, all of that. He has more. He has, he has the fame, he has the money, um, and sometimes, and not even it's, not even him having the fame and the money. I know regular everyday people, who have gone through this, and you try to make peace, you try to co-parent. It's like you try to cooperate, you try to be the peacemaker only for things to end up. But what you have to come to the realization is that in these types of situations, especially situations that's toxic, that have a tendency to escalate quickly over the smallest simplest things, or if if it was abusive, if it was like an abusive situation where whether it was physical abuse, emotional abuse, mind games, manipulation, all of that, or you using your power, or your money and your power and your status as a form of control, I'm telling you, it almost never works out. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's true. It almost never works out. And the best thing that you can do is create healthy boundaries and stand on business with that. Don't even think for a minute, because the other person can, go back and they can pretend like they have changed, or they're not the same, or you it's kind of like you go back and forth. Like one minute everything seems leveled out. It seems like it's all good, like no problems. Like, wow, okay. You figure, oh wow, yeah, well, we're getting along, and we're talking, and it seems like we're moving in the right direction. And as soon as you and that person, you get in each other's presence, or as soon as you try to plan something, or somebody tries to cross a boundary and say, well, hey, let's try to see if we can work this out anyway, and it just escalates, and it takes nothing for something to escalate. It is a lot of healing work that needs to be done for both people need to heal. Ray J definitely has healing work that he needs to do, because he's just been all over social media lately, just crashing out. The way he's been acting. Um, let me see. Um, what's his name? Goodness gracious, my mind is drawing a blank. Lord have mercy. Somebody dropped down in the comments. He was okay. So not too long ago, Kurt Franklin had invited him on his show that he has, Den of Kings, on his YouTube channel. He was a little off. Okay, he was a little off up there. And then he went back afterwards and said some stuff about Kurt Franklin, and it was like, huh? Okay, whatever. So, before Cam Newton, that's it, Cam Newton. When he was on Cam Newton's show and he did that interview, you could tell he had a lot going on. You could tell it was, he was just out of it. He was just off his rocker and he was out of it. The way he was acting, the way he was pacing back and forth, like he needed help a long time ago. A long time ago, he needed help. And I hate to say it, but you have men like Ray J, prime example, like, oh Lord, I hate to say it, but some of y'all might come after me in the comments, but it is what it is. His mom, she coddled him. I don't mean no harm, but Ray J was coddled. Ray J was coddled. And see, this is what happens. And see, a lot of people like to say that men who act like Ray J come from a single parent environment. That's not always the case. It is not always the case. Ray J is a perfect example. He comes from a two-parent household. His father is a pastor. His mom, was their manager. She probably still is their manager. You know, they have been in the industry since they were children. So, they've seen a lot, they've been around a lot, they've witnessed a lot, and they've been a part of a lot. But this is also a product too of his mom coddling him. I remember just in different interviews, reality shows, you know, interviews, things like that, where she was a huge part of the reason why her son could not grow. And it's almost kind of like the father really didn't have too much say so. Not saying that the father didn't have too much say so, but it's almost kind of like the father let their mama um kind of just take control over, everything or whatever. But child, this is a man who needs healing. He needs help and he needs to be healed. And there isn't, until he gets the actual help that he needs, it's not gonna change. It's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse. Um, so the comments, it says having kids with the wrong person can really ruin your life. Absolutely. Absolutely. Someone else says, I just wish they would leave each other for good. That would be the best. That would be the best. And upon doing that, setting healthy boundaries, and coming to an agreement as to how they will co-parent the kids. Because when there's not a real solid agreement in place, that co-parenting for the kids, it probably won't go um it won't always go well, especially if a solid plan or agreement is not put in place as to when they're going to co-parent and how they're going to co-parent and who is going to have the children when, and things like that. Someone else says they've been fighting since I was in high school. Oh Lord have mercy. This is a sad situation, not a laughing matter at all, but I was laughing at that comment. All right, so let's see here. Um, More comments. Okay. So someone says she's only guilty of staying longer than she should. We are all human. Someone else says wrong is wrong, right is right, but them kids gonna be scared of him because he displaying certain behaviors. It's a certain way to act to make a female look wrong. He should have played it calm, even if she was irate. People need to know how to react and come to social media. It's disgusting. Um, I get what she's saying, but that would have been manipulative. And you do have some people that are very unhinged, very off their rocker, but they know how to put on that calm demeanor, like they're calm and everything. And the other person is all upset because they've triggered that other person or they've caused that other person to react in a way. So you have the other person that's upset. Meanwhile, the what's the word I'm looking for? I was getting ready to say antagonist, but the instigator, okay, the one who got the real problem, they got the person, who who was triggered, they got them looking the type of way. Like, child, the mind games and stuff be off the chain, okay? Um, and people keep saying this. Somebody said she should have left when he pushed her in the pool years ago. Honey, that was your cue. Okay. You missed that big red flag. When he pushed you in that pool years ago, you was supposed to be out. You was not supposed to stick around and marry him. Okay, but you did. And then someone says, by the way, he is almost 50. Child, Lord have mercy. Someone says the children are the only victims. Princess has no obligation as a mother to protect her children, and she's failed horribly. She should have left years ago, but chooses to stay and subject those kids to repeated trauma. Grandparents need custody of those kids. Accountability is a thing, and all you women making excuses for her and not having the children's best interest. Too late anyway. The trauma is real for those kids. And someone says, you don't tell nobody, especially no woman, you'll shoot the ass out. I'm going to have to learn how to use, the different words and stuff, like pow pow and stuff. I'm going to have to use all of those little words. But you don't tell no woman that you'll pow pow the ass out of her. Are you crazy? This goes beyond toxicity. He publicly said that he would pow pow her. That life threatening situation. Someone says he definitely made that statement to the guy who entered the room. I actually don't condone his behavior either. I'm just saying it's not just him, it's her too. They both are responsible for the toxic behavior. Yeah. But, him pulling out a weapon is just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Um, and someone else, yeah, this is when someone say Princess isn't innocent either, though. I ain't saying Ray J right or wrong, but they both play a part in this toxicity. That's true. That's true because Princess has to, from my understanding, it seems like Princess has the kids. Like even though they have they probably have joint custody. It seems like the kids reside with Princess. And when the situation is like that, it can be harder on the woman, especially when you're dealing with a man that's unhealed and unhinged, okay? And you're trying to figure out how to, properly co-parent and split the time up. It is not easy. And for those who have not been in those situations, they can't speak on it. Yeah, you can have an opinion about it, but you can't speak on it. I'm sorry, you're not qualified to. And whoever want to come for me in the comments, you more than welcome to do so. But if you have never been in a situation like that before and you had kids and the other person may make it hard or may make it difficult for you in regards to those kids and you're trying to compromise and you're the person that's trying to um, make peace and trying to be neutral, okay, it is not easy. It can be very difficult because you're dealing with someone that's unhinged. They're a ticking time bomb. It's hard to work with them. You don't know when or if they're going to pop off. You don't know. Okay. And then sometime because these men, and I'm not just calling out the men because both parties are responsible here, but sometimes you have men that are just as bitter as women that a relationship did not properly work out, or you have to split up and things may not exactly be going the way you wanted them to. Child, please, so many men out here that are just as bitter, but that bitter label, it just has a tendency to be placed on women far too often than it should really. um but um yeah, and sometimes the other person can make it really difficult for the other person because there's unresolved issues, you got trauma, you got healing that needs to be done. You got probably got people looking for closure. Somebody betrayed someone, and it's all of that just built up. Somebody narcissistic, they used to get in their way, used to things being their way, and it really makes it hard. It is not easy. And it's always easier for people on the outside looking in to put in their 2 cents or make their opinion about a situation, especially when you're not inside of the actual situation and you're not dealing with the actual situation firsthand. So people are definitely going to have their opinions and their comments, and they're going to have their biases and whatever they feel like their reasons are. But um if you, and that's what I say, if you have not actually been through that before personally, then it's like you would not understand. You just wouldn't get it, you know. But they are in the public, and so they brought their business to social media, and here we are talking about it. So that's another thing too. You got to learn how to keep your business. I have never been one of those people that put my business on social media, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I know some people that do, and I'm like, what is the purpose? What is the purpose of going on social media and putting, like, airing out your business all on social media and talking about your drama on social media? What actually is the purpose? Mm-mm-mm. All right, so let's see here. So, um, when Ray J made his video talking about his side, explaining his side of the situation, Princess Love just basically, I think she took to the shade room and she was like, liar. Um, but someone says, how he get out? Ain't he supposed to sit until Monday? Mind you, this was the day of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was on a Thursday. Someone else says, if you waving pow pows all over the place and pointing them at me, I'm getting my kids out of the house too. I'm not leaving my child with someone who clearly has mental health problems and is armed with a pow pow. My drunk ass will call a Uber. I bet you that. Same. Same. I'm not staying in the house with you either. Someone else says, in some situations, people need to stay away from each other for the sake of the kids. This is one of those times. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I do feel like Princess, her intentions were good. I do feel like her intentions was good. I do feel like she genuinely wanted to have a good Thanksgiving with her kids. Um and when she mentioned in the video that she told Ray J, if he started acting up, they would leave. 9 times out of 10, I bet you it was something that Ray J was doing that had her kind of like on edge and had her thinking like, let me go ahead and give him a warning and let him know if he start acting up, this is what's going to happen. But see, that's why you have to completely separate yourself, and you have to create those healthy boundaries, and you have to stand on business. You can't even give um those type of people the benefit of the doubt. You just can't, because the one time that you decide to give them the benefit of the doubt, that's when something gonna pop off. That's when something crazy gonna happen. And you're gonna be like, Lord, why did I even? For real. Um, Someone else says he lacks accountability. Absolutely. I agree 100%. And I have always seen this behavior in Ray J throughout the years. With him being in the entertainment industry and him being in the public, he has always lacked accountability. I have never, from what I've seen on TV, never known for him to take accountability for anything. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe his sister probably mentioned something like that too, if I'm not mistaken, because at one point everybody they kind of wasn't like getting along, and Brandy had felt some type of way about how she was treated versus how Ray J was treated. So that part is alleged because I don't have the actual factuals on that, but I'm just recalling from my memory. But y'all can feel free to jump in the comments on that part as well if you want to. So they say he lacks accountability. He pulled that pow pow out before she even got upstairs. And I'm sorry, anyone with the firearm making threats towards me cannot be around my kids, even their father. He's unstable. Shaking my head. Absolutely. Absolutely. He's definitely unstable. Whew. Absolutely. Um, Said. Somebody says she's no better than the father. They need to divorce and split custody. Princess don't want to let go. And then someone else says, but if she kept him from seeing the kids, especially on holidays, y'all would say she's bitter. Absolutely right. It's like when it comes to these types of situations, sometimes you cannot win for losing. You cannot. If you point a pow pow at me, I'm leaving and taking my kids with me, especially if I'm doing the cooking. I want my kids to eat in peace and enjoy their Thanksgiving without chaos. Why would she leave the children there, then have to come back to pick them up and potentially deal with more chaos? No argument warrants pulling a pow pow out on a female. Absolutely. I agree 100%. 100%. And someone says, she way better than Ray J. The F you won't crack. Yeah, these are not my words. These are the people making comments under these particular posts. Someone says sometimes doing that causes more harm and trauma than good. Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. I'm not, me and my kids ain't staying nowhere where you got to do all that extra stuff. Absolutely not. And someone else says, this is why Brandy and the family don't mess with him. He still acts like his character off of the Moesha show. Somebody says, now he acting like Dorian. Somebody else says, yep, that's him, Dorian. Someone else says, like, this person right here was a little. Someone else says, of course you side with the females. You and your obese wife. Shaking my head. So this is just an immature person in the comments. And someone else says, he pulled a pow pow out on them. You siding with that? Or you bitter towards women? I pray for your children and any woman that thinks it's smart and safe enough to love someone like you. And then someone else says, yikes. Child, like what in the world? People are crazy. But yeah, what do y'all think about this situation? What what do y'all think about this? Someone says, I don't have any sympathy for Princess. She is constantly exposing her kids to their clearly unhinged father. She's literally helping and participating in her kids' trauma that's going to take them years to work through in therapy in their adult years. And someone else says, y'all keep blaming her for trying to keep her kids' father in their life. Shaking my head. The only thing she's guilty of is still trying to keep him in their life when he's clearly problematic. And then someone else says, now, if she kept the kids away, she's going to be labeled bitter. Like, what the F? Yeah, absolutely. And then someone else says, exactly. She is no victim. Her kids are. Take them away from both of them at this point and don't give them And don't give them to Ray J's mom because look what she created. Child. Oh goodness. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. Um the kids need to stay with their mother. They need to stay with their mother. And no, they don't need to go to their mama. They don't need to go to their grandmother. Um they are fine with Princess. It's just that Princess needs to um what Princess needs to do is go ahead and counseling is needed. Counseling is needed, point blank period. They need to learn how to properly co-parent. I do feel like some rules, regulations, and guidelines need to be put in place as far as the co-parenting is concerned, due to the fact that Ray J is so unhinged. He's a ticking time bomb, and you don't know when he's gonna pop off. It's clear that Ray J tried to take the situation and twist it around and try to make it out to what he wanted it to be, to try to make himself um look like, he was protecting his kids and, all of that. And clearly that's not the situation. But people who are, manipulative and used to get in their way, and who are narcissistic, who have people just easily side with them, it's easy for them to um say, "Oh, what you saw was actually this." You got people that do that, and you got people that fall for it. I believe Princess, if I had to choose a side, I would definitely choose Princess. Healing needs to be done on both sides. Now, I do agree that on both ends, some accountability needs to take place. Princess needs to learn how to create healthy boundaries and stand on business with that. A proper arrangement needs to be put in place for how to properly um, co-parent and share custody of the kids, to prevent really as much contact between mother and father as possible, so that the kids are still able to spend time with their mother and father, without all that drama and that chaos in the matter. It's just a hot mess. But my prayers go out to the both of them. I do hope that Ray J gets the healing and the help that he needs, because he desperately needs it. And I hope that Princess is able to get the healing that she needs as well, because it's definitely it's needed on both ends. Um, you know, what lessons did y'all see? It was so many lessons in this, so many lessons. Y'all drop down in the comments and tell me what y'all think about this situation between Princess and Ray J. Um, what do y'all think? Let me know y'all thoughts. What's the lesson? What's the lesson behind this, y'all? What can we learn from this? And for those of us who have actually, for those of you who have actually been in situations like this before, where you've had to go through that, how did you, how did what's what I'm what the word I'm looking for? How did you get through it? What did you put in place? What did you do to make, to help make it? Or was, that you and your kid's father come to some type of term or agreement to make things better for everybody? Or is it still kind of like that rocky, that shakiness? Because I feel like only if you have actually experienced this, then you would know what Princess is going through, seriously. And you do have some women out there who are pick me's, and I'm gonna call out the pick me's, because the pick me's just, they like the attention, one, and for two, they like, they feel like they gotta have the approval of the men or whatever, when time when they mix. I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinions, but you can always tell when somebody is being a pick me. I mean, it's just evident. But enough of that. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to my channel. hope that you like and subscribe. Drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about the situation with Princess Love and Ray J. The fact that they took it to social media, like I said before, is just everything does not need to be brought to social media, but here we are. But yeah, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope everyone has a safe and blessed day, week, or whenever you come across this video. Until next time, you guys, take care, stay safe, be blessed.